Hey, what's going on guys, TurtyWurty here, and welcome back to another Minecraft modding tutorial of 1.12.2. In this video we are going to be going over making a custom bow, and in the next one we are going to be going over making a custom arrow, as requested by a few people. It's actually a rather simple thing to do. I think people do genuinely just overcomplicate it. So I suppose let's get started. So first we need to make it an item in it. So public static final item, and we're just going to call this what should we call it? Let's make it I don't know, diamond underscore bow equals a new diamond bow. Okay, pretty simple, right? And in here we're going to put diamond underscore bow. Give that a save. Now in our objects items we need to create a new class and call it diamond bow. In here we're simply going to extend item bow and implement iHasModel. Import those. Then we're going to create our constructor and put the parameters as string name, in here you need to set the unlocalized name to name, set the registry name to name, set our creative tab to tutorial.tutorialmod tab, set the max damage, aka the durability, so I'm going to put 800, set max stack size to 1. Then you need to add it to item minute, just like that. Then we have some methods we can create. So get item enchantability, and in here you want to return how enchantable you want it to be. So I'm just going to put 10. Then you can set the damage, and in here I'm just going to return, if we go into the normal set damage method in the super implementation, so yeah, it's yeah, we'll leave that for now because that method is going to be useless to us, because we have the damage stuff inside of our arrow class, not the bow class. So then obviously we need register models and do tutorial mod.proxy.register item renderer this 0 Oh, and guys, I'd just like to mention, I'm going to do a tutorial soon on how you can just remove register models and how you can remove iHasModel and all of those, because they're really annoying, to be quite frankly, and they're not required. You don't need them. They're literally useless. So I figured just get rid of them. And that shouldn't be as much of an issue at all. In fact, we will create the arrow class in this episode, because I mean, why not? We have enough time, I think. So we actually need to create an entity for the arrow. So So let's go ahead and do this now. Let's create the actual arrow class first. So is arrow, you want to return a new item stack of item init dot we're going to call this diamond underscore arrow. Obviously we don't have that yet, so let's just go create that real quick. So we'll put it under bows, public static final item diamond underscore arrow equals a new diamond arrow diamond underscore arrow. Just import diamond bow. Now we can go ahead and actually create this in our objects class. So in items, you want to create a new class and call it item diamond arrow. No item. We'll get rid of item. Diamond arrow, and this needs to extend item arrow, and it needs to implement iHasModel for now. Then we have some methods to create. So obviously we have the constructor, which I'm actually just going to copy from diamond bow because it's the same almost, but obviously we just get rid of that, and we change it to constructor. We need the register models method, and we need another method called create arrow, welding stack and shooter. That's correct. And we need to do entity diamond arrow, entity diamond arrow equals a new entity diamond arrow. Inside the parameters we need world in comma shooter, and we need to then return entity diamond arrow. Right, now let's just import it here to get rid of a few errors. Cannot be resolved to a type, can you not? Suspicious. Well, you should be able to. Oh, Boolean. Oh, yes, of course. If if stack.getItem is equal to item init dot diamond arrow, then we return true, and else we can return false. There you go. Now we need to go ahead and actually create the entity class. So inside of entity we're going to create a new class and call it diamond arrow. Does it have camel case? Oh yeah, class. I don't know what I was thinking of. Entity diamond arrow, and this needs to just extend entity arrow. In here we obviously need to go ahead and create the three constructors. So the first one, let's just import that, and then we have let's just copy this 3 times, pull all of these 3 down, and now let's go ahead and add the parameters. So for the first one we want world in. For the second one, we want world in. Oh no, not like that. World in, comma, double X, double Y, double Z, and in the last one we want world in, entity, living, base, shooter. And obviously in all of these we just need to return, we need the super it's like this, and super of world in and shooter. Right, now import all of these things. Then we need to do get arrow stack, and in here we need to return a new item stack of item init dot diamond arrow. Then we need to do arrow hit. Now this is what you want to happen when the arrow hits. So obviously you can do super dot arrow hit of living, and then you can do living dot and then you have all these different things. For example, on one of my own arrows I did set fire, but obviously you can do whatever you want for that. We can have on update. So in here, this is where you can put particles and stuff like that. So we'll do super.onUpdate, and we'll do if, because I want some particles, just because why not really. If this dot world dot is remote, if this dot in ground, if this dot time in ground, percentage 5 is equal to 0. Then we can do this dot spawn spawn particles, and in here we can put I, and below here, here we can do else this dot spawn particle spawn particles of 2. Oh no, this needs to be 1, not 2. My bad. Then we need to actually go ahead and create this spawn particles method. This is only if you want particles, of course. You don't have to have this method. It's entirely optional. So we're going to call this private void spawn particles int particle count, and in here we're just going to put rand equals a new random. Just import random. Int I is equal rand.nextInt of 15. So there's just a bit of maths off of this. If you're wondering where I got this from, this is off of the what do you call them? Special arrows, which do potion effects. I forgot what they're called. Tipped arrows, that's it. I just got this little math part off of that. So double D0 equals in brackets double of I greater than 16 and 255, and then divide by 255.0 D, and you want to copy this, paste twice, change 16 to 8 and change 16 to 0, and change 0 to 1 and 0 to 2, and then we want just a for loop for int j is equal 0, j is less than particle count plus j. And in this for loop, we want this dot world dot spawn particle enum particle types dot, and then you can have all these different things. So yeah, you can have all these different things. I'm just going to do let's see. Probably we'll do note block, and for the x coordinate you want this dot posx plus this dot rand dot next double negative 0.5 d times double of this dot width, and for the y coord we want a double of this dot height. Wait, no, that's wrong. Okay, yeah, we want this dot pos y plus this dot rand dot next double times double of this dot height. Yeah, there you go. For the z coord, we want this dot pos z plus in brackets this dot rand dot next double and we want to then go ahead and negative 0.5 d times brackets double of this dot width, and for the last ones we want d0, d1, d2, and that should be right. This whole class will be in the description, just so you're aware. Just import entity thing there. And obviously now we're going to need the render class, and we need to register it in render handler. Yep, so let's go to, let's make the render class first. Did I not make a package for this? Oh, that's what I was meant to do, new package. Alright, there we go. And then we can put the entity in there. And in here we're going to create a new class and call it render diamond arrow, and in here we want to extends render arrow of entity diamond arrow. Just Control Shift O render arrow, and we need to go ahead and add the constructor just like that. And we're just going to change this to manager because it's better. Just looks better. Then we need to get the entity texture. So get the entity texture, and in here you want to return a new resource location of reference.modID plus 2 speech marks, colon, textures, / entity, / arrows, / diamond underscore arrow.png, just like that. And that's all you need for that. Now we need to go ahead over to the render handler. So let's just close these, and util handlers, render handler. Inside here we need to go ahead and create a new thing. So rendering registry dot register entity, that entity diamond arrow dot class, and for the renderer we need new render factory, and that needs to be of entity diamond arrow, and then open 2 brackets. Inside here we're going to need the create render for, and we need to return a new render diamond arrow of manager, just like that. And that should be that done. Now, if I remember correctly, we need to go into entity init and register our entity. So let's go into init, entity init, and we're going to need a new thing for this. So we're going to register arrow, actually we need to make this the things, private static void register arrow. In here we need string name, comma, class, triangle brackets, question mark, extends entity, and call that entity, and int ID. In here we need entity registry dot register mod entity, a new resource location of reference.modID plus colon, that's the wrong colon, plus name. Then for the entity class we want entity, for the entity name we want name, ID, tutorial mod.instance. For the tracking range, for an arrow you always want 64. Update frequency we have 20, true for that, and we don't have the eggs. Then up here we obviously need to go and register arrow, and the name for mine is going to be diamond underscore arrow. For the entity, we want our entity class, so entity diamond arrow dot class. And for the ID, we're obviously going to need to go into reference and do a public, let's just get rid of that one, public static final int entity underscore diamond underscore arrow is equal to 251. Give that a save, and that means for the ID you can do reference dot entity diamond arrow, just like that. Now we need to go ahead and create the models and textures and etc. So first let's go ahead and create the actual item model for the bow. In fact, let's do the arrows first, because that's the easiest. Okay, why does this not open with our text editor? There we go. So now at the bottom we can do entity dot diamond underscore arrow dot name equal to a diamond arrow, and if we go to we'll just put it in items, item dot diamond underscore bow dot name is equal to diamond bow, and item dot diamond underscore arrow dot name is equal to a diamond arrow, just like that. And then we need to go ahead into models, into item, and let's just copy a normal thing, so lemon seeds for example, and we will call this one diamond underscore arrow, and just put in here diamond underscore arrow, close that. Now we need to go ahead and copy a normal one, and we need to change this to diamond underscore bow, and get rid of everything in here. Now you can go ahead and copy this one from the description. I just need to change leather underscore bow. Yeah, leather underscore bow. I need to go ahead and change to diamond underscore bow, and I need to go ahead and change Minecraft Madness to tutorial mod. Give that a save, and yep, that's a lot better. So that's the main JSON done, but we have a few more which also go well with this. So the rest are basically normal, so we'll get the dark apple, we'll paste, and we'll of course it's just diamond underscore bow underscore pulling underscore 0, and we need to do item / bow, so it parents from that. And here we need to do diamond underscore bow underscore, we could just do 1. In fact no, we'll do 0 because that just makes more sense. And then we can just copy that, paste it, 1 and 2. And obviously for 2 we need to change it to 2. For 1 we need to change that to 1. And save all. Now you need to go ahead and create the textures, so I'm just going to go and do that real quick. Guys, just created all the textures. Now we're going to go ahead and load into the game and see if it works. Just fix that. And so yeah, I'll see you guys in the game. Okay, so guys, we just got in the game. And if we go into our creative tab, we have our diamond bow and our diamond arrow. If I start pulling it back, you can see we have all the textures. It shoots our diamond arrow with the wrong texture. Oh. Hold on. Interesting. Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, my bad, guys. Oh, wait. Yeah, I accidentally named it diamond underscore arrow instead of arrows. My bad. I'll just rename that. Arrows. There we go. And then we have diamond underscore arrow. So I'll load back into the game and I'll see you guys there. Right, so guys, we just got back in the game, and now if I shoot my arrow, there's a diamond arrow. How nice is that? I mean, yay. Success? Question mark. Now one thing I just want to try, I don't think it works. You can look into the code if you want to try and get this to work. But I don't think it shoots out of a dispenser. No, it doesn't. But you can look into the normal arrow code and you can find that. It's not a difficult thing to change. You've just got to change how it drops. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please do be sure to smash your face into that like button and subscribe. If you really enjoyed, please do be sure to share it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.